month in rent. And I'm like, who are you bragging about? Then she starts talking about, like...
you're literally talking to a feudal lord, right?
Then she starts talking about, like, how she's trying to find cheap economy class tickets. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what? What are you trying to signal right now?
Just,
At that
like,
point...
induce trauma in your head.
Well, then she also said, she started talking about the trauma, like second generation trauma our community faces, and how we have to heal and shit like that. And then she said, someone brought up affirmative action, and she was like, our community has gone through so much, and I'm happy for our community. But at the same time, she called Donald Trump repulsive. So I'm not sure what her political stance is. We didn't talk politics too much.
She's probably like an anti-affirmative action Dem. There are a lot of those out there.
Yeah, and dude, I was raging. I mean,
you rage about a lot of stuff. I mean, you raging isn't like unique. You rage at me a lot, right? Like, telling me I'm gonna burn in hell.
You are gonna be on our own.
This man rages at me all the time, so it's not unique for you to rage.
I genuinely like JD Vance much more than I like Trump.
Wait, this was a woman in your building, William?
No, it was a friend's friend.
Wait, so you're saying that to get like a Vance Harris election, you mean behind Vance? What you're saying?
I mean, Trump is, just incapable. Like, fundamentally, he's too dumb to, destroy the suns of the world. Vance, on the other hand, he can. He can just gut the sociology departments, right? I trust him.
That's true. Yes, but you didn't answer my question. If in 2028 it was Vance versus
Gay. So black women love white women more than black men do. I've been said this now for about 2 years. I believe this.
No worries. Oh, okay.
Black men really ain't checking for white girls as hard as black women are.
I wish we could get you niggas pregnant, bro.
I know you do.
Nigga pregnant, you wouldn't sit there and take 9 months to fucking birth a kid. I'll tell you that, right?
What the fuck?
This nigga had premature babies. This nigga.
Come back 2 months after your kid.
What was that? What'd you say, Chris?
I just said the coonery is out of control.
Yeah, I mean, they're hypothesizing how long it would take for a black man to have a child.
What?
He said if she's like, you lucky we can't get you pregnant, nigga. He's like, bitch, if a man could get pregnant, we wouldn't take no 9 motherfucking months. We do it in 3 motherfucking months, bitch.
But I'm gonna respect you more when you.
Huh?
If you want, like, I could open up a room where it's HD crystal clear debate streaming through.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna live stream and create a couple. I'll create one room. I'll join your room. So go ahead. I don't know, I'm sure it's going to be on YouTube, but, oh wow, they kicked me out of that room.
They're fascists.
They're censorship fascists. They don't want their dirty laundry being stored permanently on other platforms. And I understand that. I wouldn't want a permanent record of me being a moron. Gaga!
Once again, family, the announcement from Black Warrior Queen. She has donated $5,000.
Oh, praise Jesus! Ungawa! Vote Trump and go to the gym, fatties!
Oh shit.
So it means y'all gonna raise at least 10 or 5 is what I'm looking for.
No, we're gonna have way more money than that. We're gonna have way more money than that. But for every dollar what we raise, you're gonna match that dollar up to 5,000. One example.
Yeah.
If we raise
$50,000.
But then we took all the money and then we went to Poland.
Y'all didn't take no money, man. They gave y'all money because the Jews.
Oh, Vino.
only
at this point,
if
I'm
that
worried.
shot was a little more to the left.
I'm worried about. So the rules are one mic at a time. All they're allowed to get is a pen, some paper, and a bottle of water. I hope Secret Service checks the pen and the paper and the bottle of water. They might try to kill him on live TV again.
Hey, so which Kamala or Kamala we gonna get tonight? We gonna get the Detroit version. You better thank her. You better thank her.
No, you're gonna get
Are we gonna get names?
I hope Trump marks her on that though. I hope Trump races her. So that at least I will die.
We're gonna get the
prosecutor attorney.
You're gonna get the Joker tonight.
You're gonna get the attorney that's gonna prosecute the felon. You're gonna get the courtroom googly head.
Get drugged, man. I just can't wait till it starts.
I'm mad because I'm not gonna be able to see it. I want to be home and see the beginning. How long is it? An hour?
90 minutes.
You can watch it in the phone.
Oh, word is 90
I'm
minutes.
driving. I'm driving. I can't watch it while I'm driving.
You got two
I watch the room.
Motherfucker, you can listen to it.
I just want to see
We're
how.
gonna listen in on here. We gotta have the visual effect
That's
on
black.
too.
Yeah. I got it on that.
I want to see her face when Trump's in the missiles at her. Because Trump going back and I don't care. They can't hold Trump down, y'all. Trump coming with. He coming with cannons. Trump got her history. He got her father history. Trump got her history, great-great-grandfather history.
I'm just waiting for him to break out her DNA results. I'm gonna drop that right there. That's gonna be hilarious. If he comes out and be like, yo, but we got your spit and we did your DNA and you ain't got no drop of African not nowhere. This says 100% Southeast Asian. Okay. I want to see all these black people. I just want to see what they're going to say if that happens. That will be classic. Because he got Elizabeth Warren. Like, they made Elizabeth Warren go do her DNA, and it came back like .0001 Native American. But I'm surprised they haven't, like, pressured Kamala to do it.
We ain't voting for that hoe.
Who was that? Who sang that song?
I posted, his name is something, Alexander. I am Lowe's Alexander 9. I posted
Okay. I gotta download that. Okay. I'm gonna drive my mom crazy.
See, this debate is on ABC. You know what I'm saying? You know that's a liberal channel. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they probably got it scripted to where, you know what I'm saying, they'll sway towards what's her name? Kamala. They already got Democrats on the TV, you know what I'm saying, slipping on her fupa.
I think it's going to be all right because, number one, I believe that her camp knows how bad she does on live interviews, that they pretty much, and I know, listen, let me tell you something. I know Fox is primarily like a Republican conservative news station. But in the midst of all this bullshit that we've been seeing, ops jumping on the other team and all of that, you know, I don't think Fox is going to ask her any difficult questions. You know what I'm saying? I think the way that they're going to do this shit tonight, I think they're going to try to sway it in her favor. You You know what I'm saying? I think they bought out the stations, yo. I'm telling y'all, because the CIA runs all the news stations. I don't care what anybody says. So this could be one of those. This could be one of those psyops where you think she's gonna get cooked because she's on a conservative site and all that shit, and they make the shit all in her fucking favor, yo.
Man, but they don't even need to ask her hard questions. She came and answered the easy questions. What would you say about Trump? Saying that this is the first time. Oh, next question. Girl, that was your opportunity. Okay, she couldn't even answer that.
Do you think they're gonna bring that? Do you think they're gonna bring that question up in the thing where they're questioning her race?
No, I don't.
Because they asked her on her little live interview. She said the next question. Now this is
right. She said next question.
They asked Trump about that shit. You've been saying that she ain't black. What you think?
How about when you said, I didn't know when did she become black?
I almost smiled on my
when she turned black or something. Said, oh my god.
That shit's hilarious.
I think that's going to be the biggest angle, is to try to make him look insensitive and racist, like they've been going on. You know, that she, and also the feminists,
pleasantly shocked to see Donald Trump win over Hillary Clinton, and it was in that moment on November 5th of 2016 that I realized that polls weren't simply inaccurate, they were in large lies, these blatant lies. And so ever since then, over the course of the last 8 years, I've pretty much intentionally disregarded all polls. I don't care if it's a Fox poll, I don't care if it's Rasputin, or 538 or Nate Silver or any of these other reputable sources, because I just who knows what's true, who knows what isn't. So I was shocked to hear and impressed to hear that Trump is actually doing better in the polls this cycle than he has in any other previous cycle. That seems to me to be a major indicator that the victory is actually the difference.
And that's what I'm seeing on the ground.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. I mean, you know, you still have to get over the liberal madness. One video that just came out while you were talking just then, is a video of the parents of Aiden Clark, who was actually the 11-year-old killed by a Haitian migrant. When the Haitian migrant he didn't have a driver's license, but he ran into a school bus, and it resulted in this kid getting killed. And his parents are up there going, I wish he was killed by a 60-year-old white guy so Trump couldn't, you know, use his death.
Wow. Talk about Stockholm Syndrome. Get that clip. Let's play that before the debate. Tell me more.
Yeah, no, but, you know, at that point, it's like, you know, how are we going to convince you? I mean, we're trying to put forward policy that would have resulted in your child still being alive, and yet you still hate us for some reason. It's so absurd. At a certain point, you go, maybe there's no winning these people over, and we just have to activate the people who still have a consciousness and still are able to see the world for what it is.
Remember the Soros illegal alien helper got stabbed to death by some of the illegal aliens in New York?
Yes.
And his girlfriend said, oh, you know, it's no big deal, so what?
She even started a GoFundMe to raise money for her mourning, so she exploited the death.
And then she went and visited the killer in prison.
Crazy. So that's, I mean, some of these people, I mean, they're too far gone. Some of the videos, again, that Owen was playing during the war room, showing just the sheer ignorance of, you know, voters in America. It's kind of blackpilling, honestly, Alex, but you know, I have faith that enough Americans are awake enough, and hopefully with this debate we'll be exposed to some reality and some truth that they have had hidden from them for a while, just like what happened with Joe Biden and his incompetence, just like has happened with COVID, and now they admit it's a lab leak. I mean, all of this stuff we have been on the forefront of, we have been right on, and what people really need to consider is, how did they know this when I didn't? And, you know, what else are they saying that maybe I should listen to? And maybe it's too much to hope that the American people make that leap, but that's the only hope that we have at this point.
Well, I think what's really shocking about that video that you mentioned of the father of this 11-year-old who died was obviously the fact that he said that he wished that his child had died at the hands of someone else, instead of saying that he wished his child hadn't died at all.
Right.
That's the obvious response,
and
right?
By saying, you know, a 6-year-old white guy, he's just doing the same thing that he is apparently opposing. So
right, but subconsciously, it's obviously a death cult. If you're saying who you wish killed your kid, right? Like, come on.
Well, the left, we have the clip in a moment. The left, it already says there's too many people to kill your babies, and then they're having abortions at the DNC while Catholic bishops speak. or Cardinals. I mean, this is a death cult.
100%. Just like Jim Jones, it's a suicide cult, and they're willing not only to sacrifice you for the sake of their political agenda, but they're willing to sacrifice their own children, their own relatives and friends and coworkers.
Because they believe they're morally superior, they're going to win if they do this. But they literally have Matt Stockholm syndrome and learned helplessness. Reintroduce who this family is, guys. Harrison, we're going to play the clip.
Yeah, as far as I understand it, this is the father of Aiden Clark, who is 11-year-old. He was killed when a illegal Haitian migrant crashed into a school bus, and he died. Aiden Clark, the 11-year-old student, killed in bus crash, loves snuggling, sports, and family. That's the headline from Springfield News-Sun. And I believe, I can't remember who, but somebody's on the ground there filming this city council meeting where his parents stopped it. The Blaze captured it, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to show the clip in a moment, but understand this. There were 56,000 people there. Now it's 20,000 brought in the last few years. Now more are coming. So a third of the population, or almost a third, are these Haitians who don't have cars, who don't have electricity. It's literally the worst country on earth. There's no animals walking around. They eat them there. It's on record it's happening. It's not a hoax. It's police reports, body cams, literally hundreds of chickens out of people's backyards on the edge of town are all being eaten. They're just running around doing all this. And then you have the Stockholm syndrome, and now they've doubled or more the insurance rates to good drivers to $400 a month because the Haitians are running around crashing, and it's a sanctuary city, so they won't put them in jail for what they're doing. We have the sanctuary city of Aurora, the cops saying, I have a double homicide guy. We're letting him go because we're a sanctuary city. They're proud. Hey, we're kicking little girls out of school because they don't want naked men in the bathroom with them in 8th grade. They're bad for not liking it. I mean, remember Andrew Cuomo, Fredo, said, well, if your 11-year-old daughter sees a man's penis in the shower, a woman's penis, he said, she should be grateful. And the father of her is a bigot. So literally, your 11-year-old daughter doesn't want to see a man's penis. She's bad. It's a frickin' cult, people. It'll do the most outrageous stuff to make you submit. We're 6 minutes out from the debate. Here's the clip the guys are talking about.
Our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I'm wishing my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone. The last thing that we need is to have the worst day of our lives violently and constantly shoved in our faces. But even that's not good enough for them. They take it one step further. They make it seem as though our wonderful Aiden appreciates your hate, that we should follow their hate. And look what you've done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as
By the way, pause, back it up 5 seconds. This is Stockholm syndrome, where people captured by the bad guys, particularly women, will then convert and defend the kidnapper and attack the police that are trying to save them. Literally, the Haitians have one of the highest crime rates. Venezuelan crime gangs, the left's defending them. The mass rape, all of this stuff. And he's saying, you people are hurting us. You did it. You're bad because you don't want it to happen to your kids. I mean, this is mind control. These people are mind control victims. Here it is.
Done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop.
What you've done to us, they didn't kill your child. There's freaking thousands of wrecks a month, death everywhere. They got black guys getting up talking about shooting it all the time. It's not about race, it's about the culture of Haiti. It's admittedly the worst country on earth run by voodoo. Listen to this, here it is.
You've done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as a political tool is, to say the least, reprehensible for any political purpose. And speaking of morally bankrupt, politicians, Bernie Moreno, Chip Roy, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump, they have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about
I'm pausing it, back it up 10 seconds. I'm going to explain to this father something called empathy. So if my next door neighbors get kidnapped and murdered by gangs, I get to get pissed off about it. Let's say the mother's gone on a business trip and her husband, daughter, and son, say the husband's 45, the daughter's 12, the son's 6, get tied up and then murdered. And then the mother comes back and likes it. Let's say Haitians did it, hypothetically, and I don't like it. I have a right to not to want to have this happen to my family. I have a right to have people driving around without driver's license, totally out of their minds, driving around like psychotics, killing everybody, or illegal aliens, much higher level, from Latin America, drunk driving, and they just let them go. I have a right to be pissed about that, buddy. So we have a right to talk about your son. You may have Stockholm Syndrome. You may sit there and say, we're mad because we're sad he got killed, and we use him as an example. You have to personalize it. Stalin said 1 man dies, it's a tragedy, 10,000 dies statistic. That's true. And it's millions dying from the fentanyl and the crime and all of it, and we're tired of it. And we're upset for your son. We have empathy for your son. We're not using your son. We're trying to show what happened. Continue.
And use his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about the fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio. I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies. To clear the air, my son, Aiden Clark, was not murdered. He was accidentally killed by an immigrant from Haiti. This tragedy is felt all over this community, the state, and even the nation. We don't spend this towards hate. In order to live like Aiden, you need to accept everyone. Choose to shine. Make the difference. Lead the way.
Choose to shine.
What many people in this community and state
Choose to shine.
is the opposite of what you should be doing. Sure, we have our problems here in Springfield.
This guy must be a Kabbalist. He's a Makubala.
Did Clark have anything to do with that?
LGBTQ
Did you know that an 11-year-old boy could be passionate about gardening? That he could haggle for a better price at a yard sale?
How much you want to bet the wife there? Looks like a bleeding heart, totally well-meaning. And she's got Stockholm Syndrome, and we're bad because we're saying these people are out of control and super dangerous and above the law in a sanctuary city. We have a right to not have illegals with no driver's license running around, running into everybody, killing people. And we have a right. He says, you better not say his name again. It's still America. We still have free speech. And you may want to blame us. Some psychological thing for your son's death. We didn't kill your son. How do you crash into a big old school bus? You know he ran a red light or something. I mean, that's what they say. They're just driving around. The insurance policies have more than doubled. All right, we're going to put this report out on X too. At Real Alex Jones. Follow us there. We're live streaming this right now. Share it. That's how you defeat the censors. Everybody on X, retweet it, repost it. Take the Infowars.com/show feed. Carry it, get it out. Now, the debate supposedly should start now, but I bet it starts in 5-10 minutes. Let's go to the ABC News feed. We're going to be analyzing it.
When I did that debate, we'll stand by to see that tonight, but the first time, side to side, together.
And I have my doubts that we're going to see that handshake, but what we are going to see is a spirited debate and perhaps the most consequential general election debate we have ever seen, because almost certainly going to be the last one. So with the stakes so high, the presidential debate just moments away, we have the entire news division keeping an eye on everything. We're going to be fact-checking on our live blog. It's all going to be happening right
all right,
here.
That's good. Let's go to that now. Yeah, I figured that they're not going to go to for 5-10 minutes. They're going to run some commercials, probably some Kamala ads. She's got a lot more money than Trump. And then we're going to come back once. In fact, let's put a box up on screen of the debate. And the minute they actually get ready to come out, we will cut to it, and then I'll have limited comments during pauses or breaks here. And then when it's all over, myself and the head of Rasmussen Polling, Mark Mitchell, Roger Stone, Luke Rakowski, and so many others that we've got tonight for several hours after. We'll probably take some of your phone calls as well. This is going to be a big night to remember. So let's put a box up there of the ABC feed. Yeah, there it is, right? I just listen to these mummies up there. And by the way, you look at the moderators right there. They're serious Democrat Party operatives, serious Disney operators. Report ABC campaign coverage has been 100% positive for Harris, 93% negative for Trump. Overhead shot, please. Show people the these articles. And then continuing here, 100% ABC debate moderator David Mirror, host most pro-Harris left-wing newscasts. Top ABC, a personal connection to Kamala Harris. Disney's executives, close relationship with Kamala Harris under scrutiny as ABC host. Critical debate. We're going to be laying all of this out here tonight live. And as predicted, we'll start the debate 5-10 minutes in so the pundits can put their spin on things. They try to say they're not partisan. I'm pro-America. I'm populist. I'm anti-establishment. I want to get rid of the private Federal Reserve. I want to control the border. I want to secure the dollar. I want to have peace and security. I want to have free speech in America. I don't want pedophilia taught to children. That's what we're covering. That's what we're doing. And that's why it's so important. And you heard the Rasmussen pollster say 70% of the audience is now on the internet. The corporate press is dead. And as soon as we start realizing what they say doesn't matter and that they have long histories of known liars, then that their last power is gone. So we've decentralized it, and we'll have millions of viewers tonight. Hundreds of other great people on X will have millions of viewers. And together, it's going to be way, 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 way bigger than what they've got. So we're less than a minute out. Let's go ahead and go to the feed. I'm going to get on Schroeder in with me. We'll have minimal comments during this, and then we'll be back with the full transmission. Now it's up to you, Paul Revere's, to take the live feed at Real Alex Jones on X, share it all over X, but also on your text message, your email. That's the power. You've got all the power. Not like you're the tail, you're the dog, you're the tail. When you decide to take action, you're on stage. Let's go to them.
Good evening. We are
This is
looking
why
forward to
I imagine and have actually a
debate.
plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year, because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because there was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us, and I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounced back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
So, Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
It's just a soundbite that gave her that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. Just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Mr. President, I do want to drill down on something you both brought up. The Vice President brought up your tariffs. You responded, and let's drill down on this, because your plan is what she calls is essentially a national sales tax. Your proposal calls